Hearts are so heavy. 38-year-olds shouldn't die. At a time like this, the only thing to do is to help each other cry. The death of this beautiful soul is a drastic reversal of the natural order. It just shouldn't be. I'm so sorry that we have to be here today. Washington Irving once wrote the following: "There's a sacredness in our tears. They are not the mark of weakness, but of power. They speak more eloquently than 10,000 tongues. They are the messengers of overwhelming grief, of deep contrition, and of unspeakable love." So here we are. Our eyes filled with tears, our hearts heavy. With sadness to share our grief, and more importantly, to share our love. Life as we know it is both complicated and confounding. Life is filled with extremes. There is sorrow mixed with joy. There's wholeness alongside brokenness. We see the rain and the rainbow at the same time. But there are two truths that I know to be true as a rabbi. Number one is that the heart can withstand an incredible amount of joy and sadness at the exact same time. And that same heart can experience unbridled joy along with that sadness equally. These two things can happen at the same time within the same moment. The heart that feels pain can also feel joy in equal measure. Today we feel that pain. Tomorrow we hope for that joy. Abraham Joshua Heschel once said the following: "In the presence of death, there is only silence and a sense of awe." Today we feel that awe. As we gather here, as we look at his urn, as we look at these beautiful pictures and the flowers, and the people that are gathered here in this room, and the many people that are gathered online, to remember, we feel that awe. It just shouldn't be. The journey through grief for all of us is unpredictable. You don't know where it goes. You don't know when it's going to start. You don't know if it will ever end. You know and don't know where it will lead you or who you will be when you get there. Anyone who thinks that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line will never really understand grief. Grief is not a linear process, with sadness diminishing each day until it clears up. Not for you, David. Not for you, Wendy. Not for you, Samantha. Not for you, Tim. Not for you, family members and friends, nieces and nephews, aunts and uncles, cousins, relatives, and friends. It's not a straight line. There's going to be good days and bad days for the rest of your lives as you think about Nick. Sometimes we can stand up in it. Other times it pulls us under. But grief is a sign that we love something more than we love ourselves. And today we feel that grief. We find comfort from the words of the Jewish tradition. I lift up my eyes to the mountains. What is the source of my help? My help today comes from God, maker of heaven and earth. God will not let your foot give way. Your protector will not slumber. See, the protector of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. God is your guardian. God is your protection at your right hand. The sun will not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. God will guard your soul, your going and coming, now and forever. No matter what faith tradition we may be from, and I know that there are lots of people who knew Nick from lots of different faiths. No matter what faith tradition we may be from, there's one psalm out of the 150 psalms that speaks to everyone. It reminds us that we're not alone. It reminds us that God is there to help us. It reminds us, and it's used by clergy of all different faiths, to remind us that we walk together in the valley of the shadow of death. But the psalmist who wrote this psalm, perhaps they say it was King David or Solomon. The beautiful words of the Psalms, with each word being meaningful, remind us that we think about what the psalmist said. I've always loved the fact that the psalmist who wrote the 23rd Psalm wrote something that's so significant. It's just one word. The psalmist said, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death." The psalmist very easily could have written, "Yea, though I walk in the valley of the shadow of death." Still would have worked. "Yea, though I walk forever in the valley of the shadow of death," would have worked. "I feel like I'm always in the valley of the shadow of death," would have worked. But the psalmist was very careful in choosing the words. "Yea, though I walk through the valley." Because to Nick's family, you're going through something very hard right now. But to go through something means that there's a before, there's the period going through it right now, and then there's a new period that comes after. And we understand that. We walk through that with you. No one can walk this path alone. We help you walk this path together. In Hebrew, the words are so beautiful. Adonai ro'i lo eksar benodesha yarbitzeni al mei menuchot yinachaleni nafshi yashovev yancheni b'mad le'tzedek lama'an shemo gam ke'elech b'ged salmavet lo irara ki ata imadi ach tov v'chesed yirdafuni kol yemei chayai v'shavti b'beit Adonai la'orech yamim. Please join with me in the words of the 23rd Psalm in his honor and in his memory. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord. At this hour, the blessed presence of family and friends brings comfort and strength. It says to us, "Be sure that love, the spring of life, abides." May all who mourn take heart as they remember the goodness they've given and received. And when the days of their mourning are ended, may the memory of their loved ones, may Nicholas's memory truly be a blessing. I've always loved the words of Rabbi Joe Black, commenting on the 23rd Psalm when he said the following: "Those who walk through the valley of the shadows wear no shoes. Their feet are cut and torn as they stumble through the darkness. With no time to pack a bag or say goodbye, they begin their journey unprepared." With no time to pack a bag or say goodbye. Nick's sudden death last Wednesday has turned our world upside down. Some people are dressed in their finery, jewels gleaming like stars in dim light. Others wear pajamas or work clothes or prayer shawls or bathing suits. Some clutch briefcases or papers or blankets or teddy bears. And everyone wears their grief. And with each cautious, painful step, they move further into the abyss. The chasm narrows. Stretching out their fingers, they trace the grooves carved by previous pilgrims. Handholds hewn into the cold canyon walls. Sometimes they march in silence. Other times, singing hauntingly beautiful melodies, their voices echo to the very vaults of heaven. The river that created this place does not flow from on high. It was formed and filled by the tears of those whose bruised souls traversed the trail. But no one walks alone. Stumbling pilgrims are quickly caught and held aloft by those who travel beside them. They're caressed and carried through the brambles and branches that, unexposed and hidden from the light, add to the chaos and confusion of the journey. And in time, for some, a light appears, far in the distance, piercing through the veil of darkness. Hope, long buried, rises to the surface like a beacon. And with it, the weary travelers ascend to find a world that has been changed forever by their absence. They return with pale faces and broken hearts. But now, as experienced travelers, they will always have a suitcase packed and ready. We're never ready for a moment like this. It happens. And we're left scrambling, trying to understand, trying to make sense out of it all. To Addison, Owen, and Taylor, I'm sorry you have to be sitting in this front row to say goodbye to your uncle. It's just not fair. We think of Hannah of blessed memory, which we know isn't fair. But we take great comfort in knowing that their two souls are together. Their two souls are together because when death occurs, a body gives out, but a soul lives on. Ever wonder why someone sneezes, we say, God bless you? It doesn't make any sense. Why would you say God bless you when someone sneezes? The answer is because your soul almost leaves your body when you sneeze. Every morning as Jews we pray, Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. The soul that you have given me, O God, is pure. You created and formed it. You breathed it into me, and within me you sustain it. For as long as I have breath, therefore, I give thanks to you, God. We take 22,000 breaths every single day. But there comes a time when we take our last breath. And when we take our last breath, our soul leaves our body. The only thing that was cremated is a body. The only thing that we take to the cemetery here is a body. A soul lives on. And that soul of Nicholas has touched so many lives. And for that we're truly grateful. Bodies give out, but souls live on. Merritt Malloy said it best. When I die, if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need to give me something, give him what you need to give to me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved, and if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not on your mind. You can love me most by letting hands touch hands, by letting bodies touch bodies, and by letting go of children who need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. If you remember nothing else from today, I hope that you remember, love doesn't die, people do. David, yesterday after we met, you said that you had done some writing. At first, you called ramblings. But then, the second piece, you just wrote second in your own handwriting about Nick. And so it's my great honor today to act as your maturgamon, to act as your translator. These are your words from the deepest parts of your heart and Wendy's heart for your son. Nick, Kiki, Uncle Kiki, Music Biz Marty, you came to us 6 pounds, 3 weeks early, and scrawny, April 30th, 1986. And you grew to be a beautiful, highly intelligent, precocious, bigger-than-life man, not destined to stay with us long enough. You played football and basketball with your group of friends in Glencoe. Frequently had them at our home after school and on weekends. You were never a wake up early, get a head start on the day kind of person. Getting you to school on time was next to impossible. You didn't really need to study because your mind